So we're talking about Musa alayhi salam, Moses, peace be upon him, that he went in the company of 70,000 people of his followers. And it was a time for drought. And the reason we went into that story, we were talking about Bismillah again. Because Bismillah, it doesn't literally mean in the name of Allah. It means without God, we can do nothing. Right? And we gave the example of the farmer. Did he create the seed? No. Did he create the soil? No. Can he command the sky to bring down the rain? No. All the answers are no. So all we do, we say, without you, we can do nothing. So you created the seed, we're just going to put it in the soil. And we'll wait for you to send the rain. And we'll wait for you to make that seed grow into a tree and give us fruits. In all of these processes, we have nothing. We have no say. We have no decision. And that's what we mean by Bismillah. It means with the help of Allah. Not just in the name of Allah. So, here is the time for a drought. What does that mean? Allah decided that He's not going to send a rain to a certain piece of His universe. Why? So that people can go back to Him and they realize that it's Bismillah, everything will happen. So Moses, peace be upon him, went with those 70 people to seek the help of Allah, who is in control of everything, to send the rain. And this is in Islam called Salatul Istisqa. Prayer for the rain to come down. So as a messenger, as a prophet, he went in the company of 70 people, and when a prophet or a messenger raises their hands to God, He would answer their call. When they call for something, when they ask for something, Allah will answer them. So what happened was, when Moses, peace be upon him, went outside in the company of those 70,000 people, and they started calling God for rain. Normally, the sky might have some clouds or might be clear. And when a messenger or a prophet does this, you'll start seeing the clouds coming, and then the rain will fall. What happened in this situation was the opposite. What do you mean? Moses, peace be upon him, started raising his hand, praying with the people, and the more he asked God for rain, the clearer the sky became. And everybody was like, that's something strange. That's not the norm. Then he kept trying, and then at the end, he started talking to Allah. Because we know that Moses, peace be upon him, is Kalimullah. And Allah told him, listen, Moses, there is a man, one person, amongst you, amongst the 70,000 people, who has been disobeying me and sinning for the last 40 years. And he keeps insisting on that. And because of him, there's no rain until he gets out of the crowd. Let me freeze the camera there and bring it to the 21st century here. How many of us sin? How many of us disobey God? I think we would raise both hands. Yet, do we get snow? We are the richest country in the world in water. Do you know that they say the next war will be a war for water? And you can see the whole world is being prepared for this now. So stay in Canada, don't leave. Because you'll be rich, you're going to sell water, okay? So, think about this. Because of one person amongst the 70,000, the call is not being answered. And amongst them is the prophet of his time, Moses, peace be upon him. So Musa alayhi salam, Moses, peace be upon him, turned around and he said, listen, we are denied rain because there is one amongst us who has been sinning and disobeying Allah for the last 40 years. And until and unless this person comes out of the crowd, no rain is going to come down. So please, you know yourself, get out of the crowd. And right away, that person started talking to God. He said, oh God, I've been sinning for 40 years and you know that. And you covered me. You never embarrassed me. If I am admitting my sins now and turning back to you, would you still cover me or embarrass me in front of these 70,000 people? Right away, the sky was full of clouds and it started not raining, pouring. Then Moses turned back to Allah. He said, Ya Allah, nobody came out. And he told me that no rain until this person comes out of the crowd. He said, Moses, I've covered him 40 years while he was sinning. Now that he turned back to me and he repented, would you like me to embarrass him and disgrace him in front of 70,000 people? So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a sattir, meaning He'll always cover us. We disobey Him day and night. We keep sinning day and night. But He called Himself not Ta'ib. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِنِّي لَغَفَّارٌ. Allahu Akbar. And indeed, I'm the one who forgives all the time. He didn't say, وَإِنِّي لَغَافِرٌ. And indeed, I forgive one time. Because if you sin one time and that's it, then what's going to happen to the second time and third time and 70 time? So Allah said, وَإِنِّي لَغَفَّارٌ لِمَنْ تَابَ. And I will always forgive all the time for someone who turns to me one time. He didn't say, all the time, for those who repent all the time. No. He's waiting for you to do it one time, but He will forgive you all the time. So, the reason I went into that tangent of Moses, peace be upon him, is because the rain comes down. Bismillah. And Bismillah definitely is exactly like La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. That's what it means too. When I say La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, it means there is no power, no permission, except after the approval of Allah. La hawl means like power. Quwwa means also might or power. Illa billah, without the permission of Allah. And you need to understand this, nothing happens in the universe of Allah without His knowledge and permission. Say it again. Without His knowledge and permission. Because people will tell you, man, I met my friend accidentally. Yeah, he didn't plan it, but God planned it. When I go to Hajj every year, sometimes I run into someone that I haven't seen for 20 years. I just find somebody running and hugging me. He's like, yo, Dr. Bedeir. I'm like, I was your student 20 years ago. Even though I'm still 16, I don't know like how this happens. People keep embarrassing me in Hajj, you know. And sometimes you never plan to meet someone that you think like, he was your classmate at the university. Okay? And then he comes like, oh, do you remember me? And I goes like, man, wasn't he like my colleague at the university? Like, oh man, I never thought that we would meet again. Who planned this? He said, we met by luck. There's nothing called luck in Islam. You can call it the way you like. But Allah said in the Quran, إِنَّا كُلَّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقْنَاهُ بِقَدَرٍ. Everything that happens in the universe of Allah is planned by Allah, whether He planned it or not. Right? There was, at the time of Sulaiman alayhi salam, Solomon, he was a prophet and a king at the same time. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him so much power. So much so that the jinn were like subjugated to him. The wind was subjugated to him. He knows the language of insects, of animals. Because he made a dua. He said, رَبِّ هَبْ لِي مُلْكًا لَا يَنْبَغِي لِأَحَدٍ مِّن بَعْدِي. "Oh my master, I want you to give me a kingdom that you would never give anyone after me." So Allah gave him all of this. So one day, it's amazing, a man was sitting in front of Sulaiman alayhi salam, and he felt, the agonies and the pangs of death, like his soul is being taken away from him. So he wanted to skip that. He was in Yemen. You know Yemen? He said, "Can you take me to the farthest point from here? I don't want to die." As if he thinks like he's going to skip or escape the angel of death taking his soul. He said, "Take me to Palestine." So you see the distance? So Sulaiman said, "Okay, no problem." He commanded the wind, it carried him like a special aeroplane, even faster than a jet. Right? And the angel of death was amazed. Why? He said, "I was wondering, God commanded me to take the soul of that person in Palestine, and he's in Yemen. It's like, why should I go to Yemen when he's going to be in Palestine?" And the man had a special request from Solomon alayhi salam to take him to his destination. So he arrived there, and the angel of death took his soul. أينما تكونوا يدرككم الموت ولو كنتم في بروج مشيدة. Wherever you are, death will come to you. It will never miss you, even if you are behind bars of iron. Sulaiman himself, alayhi salam, one day all of a sudden he found someone in front of him. He said, "Who are you? How dare you come into my presence without my permission? Who allowed you to go through the gates?" He said, "Ana alladhi la yasta'zin ala al-muluk." He said, "I'm the one who doesn't take permission from kings." He said, "You must be the angel of death." He said, "Yes, I am. It's your time." And that's Sulaiman alayhi salam. One day he talked to the ant. He asked the ant, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught him the language of ants. You know the story in chapter 27, Surah An-Naml? It's called the ants. When he heard the ant warning her sisters, saying, "Ya ayyuhan naml udkhulu masakinakum." "Oh ants, go back to your holes. لا يحطمنكم سليمان وجنوده وهم لا يشعرون." And the ant was very polite. She said, "Lest Solomon and his soldiers will step on you," because they were on the back of their horses. How can a knight on the back of a horse see an ant? So she's warning her sisters, "Go back to your holes, because Solomon is coming with his knights on the back of soldiers. They might step on you without even noticing." She's giving them an excuse. So he smiled, because he could understand the language. He said, "Oh Allah, you have given me so much power." So he took an ant and he talked to the ant. He said, "How much sustenance do you need per year?" And the ant says, 2. You know the wheat? What do you call one? 2 grains of wheat. He said, "Okay." He got the ant, got a box, put the ant inside, put 2 grains of wheat, closed the box. He left the ant for 1 year. After 1 year, he opened the box. He found the ant alive, but there was still 1 grain of wheat. Then he said to the ant, "You lied to me. Why did you lie?" He said, "You need 2 grains of wheat, and you ate only 1. She said, "I didn't lie. I really need 2 grains of wheat per year. But when you put me in the box, I thought you might forget about me, so I saved half of my food. But when I live in the abundance of God, God will not forget about me. I can eat wherever I go." Lessons from ants. They cared about each other, not the ants of today. Okay, let's go back to Bismillah. Amongst the 70, we were talking about another story of Maryam alayhi salam and Zakaria alayhi salam, right? So, Maryam, she was dedicated and devoted to the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And she was where? In the masjid. Zechariah, who was taking care of her, was an old man. He was a prophet. His wife was barren. She doesn't give birth to children. And his hair was like all gray. So he went one day to visit Maryam. And he found that she has lots of fruits. And some of the fruits does not belong to that season. Like for example, back home, when do we have like melon and watermelon? Normally in summer. MashaAllah. Say Alhamdulillah. In Canada, you have all the fruits all the time. I know it's frozen, it doesn't taste anything, but like Alhamdulillah, you have it, right? Back home, MashaAllah, you can smell the strawberry like 1 mile ago. Like the mango 2 or 3 miles away. You can smell it, right? Here you eat the mango, you finish it, and you smell nothing. But Alhamdulillah. Ala kulli hal, for everything, right? So that was weird at that time because there was no fridge, there was no freezing or anything. So he was like, he looked and said, Maryam, anna laki hada? Like, why? Why do you have this? Where is it coming from? قالت هو من عند الله. It's from Allah. إن الله يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب. It's from Allah. Allah provides for whomever He likes out of His abundance. You can't limit the gifts of Allah. He was wondering, how come that you have watermelon in winter? Then, subhanAllah, it was like an epiphany, like it was like a moment of enlightenment. هُنَالِكَ دَعَا زَكَرِيَّا رَبَّهُ. At that point, he said, if God can give Maryam a fruit that does not belong to the season, He can give me a child, even though I'm very old and my wife doesn't give birth to children. You see the moment? So this is the moment of understanding Bismillah. Without Allah, you can't have children because Allah decided some people will have baby girls, and Allah even mentioned the baby girls first because we have that inferiority complex, like boy, right? And then He said, and He gives baby boys to some others, and He makes some people barren. They don't give children. Can we change that? But Allah can. And that's what I'm sharing now, the meaning of Bismillah. Right? So Allah sets the law, that's the point I keep hammering. Allah sets the law, but He's the only one who can break the law. Right? Water is for life, right? For growing things, but water could kill when it becomes a flood, a hurricane. Who decides that? Allah. Right? Wind is something that makes, those plants, do like mating, and right? But Allah can use wind to kill very powerful people. I told you, right? فأما عاد فأهلكوا بالطير وأما ثمود فأهلكوا بريح صرصر عاتية. If you Google Ad, you'll find a person would be as tall as 5 floors. This is how their houses look like in Hadramaut, which is Yemen now. Can you imagine? 5 floors. That's how a person, if he were to walk here now, he can't enter through the door. We have to let him lie down, and then we can just grab him inside the masjid. And if he stands here, he's going to pierce that ceiling. Just think about this. This is why Allah said, when the wind came and destroyed them, كَأَنَّهُمْ أَعْجَازُ نَخْلٍ خَاوِيَةٍ. When they were dead, they were like palm trees. Think about a palm tree. If a palm tree is lying on the ground, or is lying on the ground now, how tall it is, and it's hollow from inside. And what killed them? The wind. What's the wind? Air. Allah made it very, very violent and very, very cold. Ask the Canadians when they travel in -50. They'll tell you what ريح صرصر عاتية is. Have you ever noticed this when you go out in the nice weather of Saskatoon? okay, and it's minus 40 or minus 45, and there is wind, wallahi, he feels like knives cutting through your bones, right? If you're not dressed properly. So who sets the law? That wind could be a breeze, mashallah, in summer. It's like, man, I don't need like a fan or air conditioner. I like that wind that's coming now. So it could be mercy, and it could be a curse. Who decides? That's Bismillah. So Bismillah, I told you, is like La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. What's La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah? The Prophet said, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah kanzun min kunuz al-jannah. There is no might, there is no power except with the permission of Allah. He said, this is a treasure from paradise. Would you like a story? Today is the night of the stories, okay? So you can link each one to a story. One day, one of the Sahaba, one of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, he was an old man and his wife. And they came to tell the Prophet ﷺ, they said, Prophet of Allah, our only son, who's a young man, has been taken as a prisoner of war in the last battle. And we have nothing after the bounty of Allah to depend on for our livelihood. What did the Prophet ﷺ say to them? Did he say, go and beg? No, he said, Ilzam al-hawqala. That's the prescription he gave them. He said, go home and keep saying, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. You know, if you tell somebody this today, he's going to say, Sheikh, are you okay? I'm going to go home and say, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. It's going to rain dollars in the backyard, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah. Inshallah, gold come out.
You see what I'm saying? Sometimes, again, it's Bismillah, you know. The Prophet ﷺ is in the middle of a battle, and a Sahabi comes to him, his sword is broken. He said, Prophet Allah, what shall I do? The first one who will come to me, he'll kill me. The Prophet ﷺ snatched one of the branches in the battle of Bedeir. One of the branches of the tree. I just want you to picture this. A branch of a tree, a piece of wood. He said, take this, go fight. If it were you and me, you're going to say, Prophet of Allah, are you making fun of me? I'm just going to take a stick and somebody's having a sword, I'm going to just like fight with a stick. It is yaqeen. And it's Bismillah. Do you think it could happen today? It could happen. But how much trust do we have in the promise of Allah and His Messenger? The Sahabi said, Wallahi, by Allah, before the branch would reach the neck of a mushrik, the neck will be cut and fall down. The branch didn't even cut, just like going close, he said, no, it will just, his head will fall down. And I kept fighting with it until the end of the battle of Badr, and I'm still keeping it with me. Would this happen every day? No. It takes yaqeen. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ is sitting with the Sahaba one day and he said, عُرْضَتْ عَلَيَّ الْأُمَمْ. I have seen what will happen in the day of judgment. And I have seen a prophet coming on the day of judgment, وَمَعَهُ الرُّهَيِّط. Ruhayyat means the diminutive form of raht. And raht in the Arabic language is the number from 3 to 9. Imagine a prophet spending his life, and all people, the number of people who followed him are between 3 to 9. And ruhayyat means like closer to the minimum one. It's means like 3 or 4 people. وَرَأَيْتُ النَّبِيِّ وَمَعَهُ الرَّجُلُ وَرَجُلَانِ. And I saw a prophet coming with one person or 2 people, just the followers. وَرَأَيْتُ النَّبِيِّ وَلَيْسَ مَعَهُ أَحَدٍ. And some prophets are coming with no followers. Then, ثُمَّ قِيلَ لِي انظُرْ إِلَى الْأُفُقِ. I was told to look at the horizon. That's what I like about Saskatoon, like you can see the horizon wherever you go. It's very plain, right? And I looked, he said, فَإِذَا بِسَوَادٍ عَظِيمٍ. Great number of people, because of their heads, he said sawad, like something black, like blocking the vision of the horizon. I said, أَهَذِهِ أُمَّتِي. Are these my ummah? Are these my followers? And I was told, no, this is the ummah of Musa alayhi salam. Then I said, then I was asked to look at the horizon again. And I looked at the horizon, فَإِذَا بِسَوَادٍ عَظِيمٍ. Again, I saw lots of people blocking the vision. ثُمَّ قِيلَ لِي أَنظُرْ الْأُفُقْ مِنَ النَّاحِيَةِ الْأُخْرَى. And then I was asked to turn around and look at the horizon the other way around. And I said, again, a large number of people blocking the vision. And I was told, this is your ummah. Like double the ummah of Musa alayhi salam. وَمَعَهُمْ 70,000 يَدْخُلُونَ الْجَنَّةَ بِلَا سَابِقَةِ حِسَابٍ وَلَا عَذَابٍ. And on top of them, there is 70,000 who will make it to Jannah without any punishment or reckoning. They will be asked to go right away to Jannah. And then the Prophet ﷺ finished this, and he went to his room. What did you say? Did you make a mistake? You say his house or his room? No, I'm awake. His room. Because the Prophet ﷺ has a room. His house was a room. You know, when he prayed the night prayer, Aisha said, his feet will touch me while I'm sleeping. Are we happy with the 2-room apartment? Are we happy with the basement to start our life? Are we happy with the house, mashallah, that's spacious? Or do we still look for another one? A room. And he is the most beloved one to Allah. Then the Sahaba started talking. They didn't talk about the layman, the people who are blocking the vision. Everybody is going to go to Jannah, but they have to go through this and that. No, they're talking about the special ones. That's what the Prophet ﷺ told them. If you aim high. So it's like, who are those 70,000? Why can't be with them? Why can't be amongst them? And then they started debating. Who do you think they are? Some of them said, oh, it could be us, the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. And then another one said, no, we used to do shirk before Islam came. It could be our children who were born into Islam. And then while they were like debating and arguing, the Prophet ﷺ came out from the room again. He said, فِيمَ تَخُضُونَ? What are you talking about? They said, the 70,000. And then the Prophet ﷺ gave them the description. He said, هُمُ الَّذِينَ لَا يَرْقُونَ وَلَا يَسْتَرْقُونَ وَلَا يَتَطَيَّرُونَ وَعَلَى رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ. You need the translation? Tonight or next time, inshallah? Okay. But I'll cliffhang you soon, inshallah. Okay? So, هُمُ الَّذِينَ لَا يَرْقُونَ. You know there is ruqya that people do by going to the witchcrafting people and the magicians, right? And they write them something and they give them something, put this in your hair, put this in your pocket, you know, right? They write them something that they even don't understand because they contact the jinn. Sometimes even they will write some Quran and they'll tell you this is ta'weed, just put it here, inshallah, it will protect you. And I'm telling you, if you believe that ta'weed, even though it's Quran, that ink on paper will protect you, you're committing shirk that will take you out of Islam. If you think that the Quran, when you put it in the car, it will protect your car, this is shirk. If you think putting the Quran under your pillow, mashallah, to take the headache away, that's shirk. It's not the ink on paper. It's the Quran as a way of life. That's why we do tafsir, so that you understand how can you apply this. We're just talking about Bismillah. You see how many benefits are we taking? Just to understand, when you say Bismillah, you mean it and you feel it. So this is very serious. You have to have a sound aqidah, sound belief system. So, going back, what was the last thing we were talking about? I'm taking you from one story to another story. 70,000. So he said, هُمُ الَّذِينَ لَا يَرْقُونَ. So number one, they don't go for the wrong ruqya. They don't go to witchcrafting people or magicians and ask them, you know what, you know, my daughter, you know, she's been married for 10 years, doesn't give birth, you know, and please help me. Then they write something for her, take this, and I'll share with you a funny story, like a friend of us told us. He was a good practicing Muslim and his brother was not. And the older brother, who had a wife and she doesn't give birth to children, they told him, there is a man, just go to him, he'll help you. Yeah. So he went to him and he said, man, like we have been married for 9 years, no children. He said, okay. Open a paper, wrote something, folded it, gave it to him. I said, look, don't ever let your wife lose this. Always in her pocket. Okay? See me after a couple of months. And if pregnancy is there, you need to bring me 2,000 and a lamb alive. Okay? So the man left, and his brother told him, he said, man, this is witchcrafting, this is haram. And the Prophet ﷺ said, if you go to someone like this, you are disbelieving in Islam. Even if you go just for the sake of like curiosity, your salah will not be accepted 40 days. So don't do that. And then after 2 months, his wife became pregnant. Guess what? He told him, I'll come with you to show you that this man is a liar. And he doesn't know the future. And he cannot change the qadr of Allah. Right? And this is why when Zakaria alayhi salam, when he said, you know, Ya Allah, give me a child and make him a righteous one. وَجْعَلْهُ رَبِّ رَضِيًّا. Allah gave him a child. His name is Yahya. لَمْ نَجْعَلْ لَهُ مِنْ قَبْلِ سَمِيًّا. So once you make a sincere dua, what happens? Bismillah. It will work out. Allah will again break the law for you. Yes, you're very old, your wife doesn't give birth, but who's in control? He will break the law for you because you have yaqeen in him. You trust him. Right? So going back to that man, they went, they took the lamb, they took the money, and the man asked him, the young brother who is a practicing Muslim, he said, I ask you by God to tell me the truth. Can you change anything? He said, just give me security before I tell the truth. He said, okay, you're secure. He said, no, I can't change anything. He said, what did you write in the paper? He said, give me security. He said, you have security. He said, I said, روح يا راجل منك له ما تخلف الله شاء الله عنها ما خلفت هنا بإيدي حاجة. Like basically he said, you are so foolish people. I have nothing to do with your wife, whether she can be pregnant or not. But you know what? I'll just make money out of you. That's what he wrote in the paper. And guess what? When the lady went to him, she was 2 months pregnant. Because when do the woman feel the movement of the embryo inside? After 4 months. That's what the Prophet ﷺ told us. 40 days, nutfa. 40 days, halaqa. 40 days, mudgha. So 3 by 40, how many? 120. How many months? 4 months. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, then the angel of spirits comes down and he breathed the spirit into that embryo. And he writes 4 things. Ajaluhu. One, how long is he going to live or she's going to live? Wa rizquhu. Like how much will he make in this life? What degrees? How much money? Wa amaluhu. What he will do in this life. وَشَقِيٌّ أَمْ سَعِيدٌ. Whether he'll be at the end absolutely happy or absolutely miserable. You see, this is written with Allah the moment life is breathed into the embryo. But then you come to life and you carry out what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has planned for you. Again, this creates some confusion, especially the young ones are going to say, so if everything is written, then what's the meaning of our life? No. Everything is written means Allah knows it before it happens. But Allah gave you free will to make the choice. And Allah knows what choice will you make. So it's your decision. Don't try to blame Qadr. Is that clear? So this is what people do. So let's go back. So the 70,000, what's the first quality? They don't go for the wrong ruqyah. They don't go and ask people things that only Allah can do. Right? Yes. I saw a woman one day in one of those, wali, you call it in culture, peer? Yeah. And what they do, they go to the grave and they do tawaf around the grave and they give donation. And I heard that lady and she's saying, Sayyid, she's talking to the peer. I've been coming for 4 years. and my daughter has hit 35. She's not married yet. How many years should I come? How much money should I give you to help me find a match for her? And she's holding lots of money in her hand. And the guy who takes that money at the end of the day, he's watching her. And I'm going behind her, and I said, listen, 4 years he did nothing. I know someone who's better than this. It's like, where? I said, just join me outside. And the guy saw he couldn't hear exactly the conversation, but he saw me talking, like he came and he hit me with the stick, like, Isa, like, I didn't go to do sa'i, I went there to save some people. So she went outside, she said, please son, where's that sheikh? Where's that, wali? I said, just to go home and sleep early. She said, do I have to sleep early to meet that sheikh or to go to him? I said, can you just give me a chance to finish? She's like, okay. I said, wake up 2 hours before Fajr. She said, but I will find no means of transportation to go to that wali. I said, wait, let me finish. She's still stuck with the wali. She doesn't know what I'm talking about. And I said, make wudu. Do I have to make wudu before I go to that wali? I'm like, oh my God, give me patience. And then I said, stand up and face the Qibla and pray to Rak'ah. Do I have to pray to Rak'ah before I go to wali? I said, no, you are with him now. She's like, what is his name? I said, Allah. Say, Ya Allah, you said in Surah Al-Hijr, Surah number 15 and number 21, وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا عِندَنَا خَزَائِنُهُ وَمَا نُنَزِّلُهُ إِلَّا بِقَدَرٍ مَعْلُومٍ. Say, oh, the one who said, I have all the inexhaustible treasures of everything, children, jobs. Said, وَمَا نُنَزِّلْهُ إِلَّا بِقَدَرٍ مَعْلُومٍ. You just need to knock on my door, not on the door of somebody who's dead, who can't do anything even to help himself or his own family. And this is what Allah said in the Quran. وَيَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ مَن لَّا يَسْتَجِيبُ لَهُمْ إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ. And they're calling upon those besides Allah, those who will never respond to them till the day of judgment. Imagine a dead person. That's why when I started some halaqas at my own village, I kept, because I know, like in every masjid back home, you have the main guy. If you just get that guy on your side, you can do da'wah, right? So I know that everybody, they love talking about the Prophet ﷺ. I said, okay, I started the Halaqa 3 years talking about the Prophet ﷺ and his seerah. Nothing else, no aqidah. Because they're very sensitive to this. Once you tell them this is shirk, they're going to say, Shaykh, we don't talk about this here. Until one day came, I won this guy. So he came one time in front of everyone. He said, when this man comes to this masjid, nobody stops him from talking. Give him the mic and he can say whatever he wants. I said, Allahu Akbar. It's the Fath now. We can start. And I started again indirectly, because it's not easy. Especially with the uncles, you want to change something, it's going to be very tough. So I came with a very good analogy. Alhamdulillah, all of them, this is my village. They know my dad. May Allah have mercy on his soul. He was like Hafiz, he was from Al-Azhar. Everybody knows him. He used to help so much and so many people. Teach them the Quran, teach them Arabic, find them a job. And I said to them, do you know my father? Everybody said, yes. May Allah have mercy on his soul. I said, Ameen. I said, do you think he would love anyone amongst the audience here more than me? They said, no. Logically speaking, he's going to love you more than anyone else. I said, imagine if I go to him tonight when everybody goes to bed. I'm going to sneak to the cemetery, to the graveyard, and I'm going to go to him and I'm going to say, Dad, it's the 25th of the month and I'm broke. All I need is just 500. Just sneak your hand from the side of the grave, give them to me, and I promise you, first day of the month, I'll pay you back. E-transfer, whatever it is, I'll just send you the money back. Everybody started laughing. I said, Are you laughing while the Shaykh is talking? Have some shame. How can you laugh at what I'm saying? And they said, Dr. Bedeir, your dad is dead. I said, really? So he can't give me the money? He can't help me? What about the peer that you go to? Do you know that he's not even from this country? And he was a spy? I gave them the real history of that guy that they go to. I said, he's dead. And let me tell you something. Who is the best man who has laid a foot on this earth? They said, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I said, okay, let's go back to him. Take him as a judge. You know what he did before he died? He called every single living member of his family. Ya Abbas, Ya Amma Rasulullah. Oh Abbas, uncle of the Prophet, come here. Ya Ali, Ya Ibn Amma Rasulullah, cousin of the Prophet, come here. Ya Fatima, Ya Bint Rasulullah. Ya Safiya, Ya Ammat Rasulullah, aunt of the Prophet. He brought all of them. What did he say to them? Listen carefully. He said, اعملوا, do good deeds. فإني لا أغني عنكم من الله شيئا. I can do nothing to help you once I die, except intercession on the day of judgment. لا أريد أن يأتيني الناس يوم القيامة بأعمالهم وتأتوني بأنسابكم. I don't want people on the day of judgment to come and they're loaded with their heavy good deeds and you're coming depending on the fact like he was my nephew. He's going to intercede for me. I didn't do a good job in the dunya, but he will. I'm his daughter. He said, no. If this is the Prophet ﷺ, he said, if I die, I can't help you. Can any peer, can any sheikh, can any wali help you? The wali can help you when he's alive. He can make dua for you. Right? And to start with, who's a wali? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala defined the wali. He said, أَلَا إِنَّ أَوْلِيَاءَ اللَّهِ لَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. Indeed, the awliya, meaning those who are the closest people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will always be in support of them too. There is no fear and there is no sadness that will be afflicted on them. Who are they, Allah? Continue the ayah. الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَكَانُوا يَتَّقُونَ. Two conditions. Those who believe and they have taqwa. And that's the essence of this deen. How many times Allah said, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ يَا عِبَادِ فَاتَّقُونَ. It's taqwa, being God conscious. Because if you are God conscious, you're going to think before you do anything. You're going to think before you say anything. Then you get the taqwa. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ألا إن أولياء الله لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Allah talked about two emotions here. لا خوف. خوف means fear. ولا هم يحزنون. The second emotion is sadness. Let me ask you a question. When do you feel sad? It's always something you missed in the past. Meaning something you miss in the dunya. And what do you fear? Tomorrow. Why do you keep money? Why do you want to make more money and more money even though you have money? I want to secure the future. I'm afraid that I might lose the money. So Allah said, these two emotions, you're guaranteed with Allah. When you go to Jannah, Allah will make it up for what you have missed in the dunya. So don't be sad. Everybody was drinking, it was rotten. It stopped their inhibiting center and they ended up doing bad stuff. But in Jannah you'll have another khamr. لَذَّةٍ لِلشَّارِبِينَ. It's delicious. The way it smells. And it will be not leading you to be intoxicant. And then you lose your mind. And then you fear about the future. You are in the company of Allah. Who can hurt you? Allah's on your side. Right? So, going back to the 70,000. Right? So what's the first quality? They don't do the wrong ruqyah. وَلَا يَسْتَرْقُونَ. So yarqoon means they do it or they... But yastarqi means they ask for it. Okay? So they don't do it and they don't ask for it. But is there something called ruqyah shar'iyya? Yes. What are the conditions for ruqyah to make sure that I'm doing the right thing? 4 conditions. Next time you just ask me this question. That was the cliffhanger. What are the 4 conditions of a ruqya shar'iyya? But I will continue the qualities because I know that you want to know this, of the 70,000, okay? But remember the cliffhanger, the 4 qualities of ruqya shar'iyya, or the 4 conditions. Shar'iyya means something legitimate, something right. Ruqya means when somebody is going through like some difficulties in life, or sometimes some people feel like they are possessed or that, so they go for ruqya. Like, for example, the Prophet ﷺ used to recite al-ma'awwidhatayn. That's ruqya. When you read al-ma'awwidhatayn and you puff in your hand like this, and then you try to just rub all your body. Okay? That's ruqya. The other quality he said, وَلَا يَتَطَيَّرُونَ. What's يَتَطَيَّرُونَ? It was the custom of the Arabs. If they want to make a big decision in their life, like a marriage, like buying a house, starting a business, they will catch a bird and they will let go of the bird. If the bird flies to the right, to them this is a good omen. They say, we are optimistic, let's go for it. And if it flies left, they become pessimistic. This is going to be bad. Let's not do it. Allahu Akbar. You put the future of your decision in the movement of a bird, right or left. So when the Prophet ﷺ came, he said, لا طيرة في الإسلام. That's nonsense. Don't do that. So those 70,000, they never do this. They don't put their future, in a bird moving right or left. But the Arabs, unfortunately, they used to do this. They let go of the bird. If the bird flies right, they become optimistic. Let's go for it. If it flies left, they become pessimistic. And they say, oh, this is going to be bad. Let's not do it. وَعَلَى رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ. And they have trust. And they have yaqeen. They have certainty in the promise of Allah. So Allah, if you do this, you'll get this, then you do it. You trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So upon that, one of the Sahaba said something. He said, ادعو الله أن أكون منهم يا رسول الله. O Messenger of Allah, make dua that I'll be amongst the 70,000. His name is Ukkasha ibn Muhsin. Ukkasha ibn Muhsin. So the Prophet ﷺ said, you're one of them, Ukkasha. And somebody said, lucky you, Ukkasha. No. Ukkasha fulfilled these conditions. The Prophet ﷺ doesn't just talk by chance. Another one said, oh Prophet of Allah, make dua. Then he said, sabaqaka biha Ukkasha. As if he's saying, Ukkasha just got it. They say, the scholars of hadith, they say the Prophet ﷺ did not want to embarrass him by saying, you don't fulfill the conditions. You don't qualify. This is how the Prophet ﷺ used to deal with the Sahaba. He wouldn't embarrass them. He was like, oh, you're not at that level now. You need to attend 100 halaqas, inshallah, and then we can test you. He didn't say anything to him. He's like, sabaqaka biha Ukkasha. Just Ukkasha got it. So it's not lucky you're Ukkasha. No. The Prophet ﷺ knows what he's talking about. Because Ukkasha qualified to be amongst the 70,000. But what's more important, once Ukkasha was given that promise from the Prophet ﷺ, would the Prophet ﷺ lie? So is Ukkasha is amongst the 70,000?
Yes.
So if you were in the shoes of Ukkasha, what would you do? Man, relax. You're going to Jannah. You're there, not the layman going to Jannah, 70,000. Directly to Jannah, no reckoning. You're not going to be stopped. The gates will be automatically open for you. Did he say relax? They said he kept doing qiyamul layl. He kept like fasting, voluntary days. And he died as a shaheed in the battle. This is the difference. You see what I'm saying? They did not rely, even though the promise is from Allah and His Messenger, right? But they continued to do their best till the moment until they met with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the other cliffhanger that I'm going to end up with is the story that we started. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. When the two couple who were old came to the Prophet and said, our only son, who was a young man, was taken as a prisoner of war in the last battle. And we have no means of livelihood except him. The Prophet said, go home and say, Did they listen? Yes. Did they mean it? Did they feel it? That's the difference between them and us. You can just say, as my fellow, people in my country say, La hawla illa ya Rabbi. They even distorted. It should be La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Okay, when you say La hawla illa, it means Allah doesn't have power. They don't mean it that way, but that's what they say. But when you say La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, realizing what it means, counting on it, meaning it, Ya Allah, I can't move from this chair to make it outside this door without the energy that you will give me. Because when you don't say Bismillah, when you don't say La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, you know what happens? You might feel arrogant. Man, I go to the gym every day. I eat healthy food. I'm okay. Right? Can you, I'll come. The weather forecasted, it's great tomorrow, inshallah. It's going to be +6. And I'm healthy. And then you wake up in the morning, you can't move from bed. What happened, Mr. Boss? Man, I don't know. I can't move. Did you eat something heavy last night? Like, no, everything's okay. It's like, why can't you move? Move yourself. Do you think that everything that happens in your body is under your control? No, Allah can stop the heart in less than a second. You're done. You know when you sneeze, why do you say Alhamdulillah? They say because your heart stops. And if it stops, if it continues to stop, you're gone. So you say Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again makes your life normal and the heart functions properly. Who gives instructions to the heart? Do you know how many operations your liver does to take all the toxins out of your system? Thousands. And once they stop, what happens? Man, I feel something wrong. I'm vomiting blood. Just go to the hospital and see what's going on. And then they tell you there's something wrong with your liver. Why? Because you have been eating fat and you have been drinking and you devastated your liver. Allahu A'lam whether we can do something or you're gone, because if your liver is gone, you're gone. We don't know even if we can do a transplant or not. So we take the blessings of Allah for granted. You sleep. Do you have eyes? Hello?
Yes.
Say Alhamdulillah. Do you see with those eyes?
Yes.
Say another Alhamdulillah. Because some people have eyes but they don't see. Do you have ears? No bigger than mine, right? Can you hear? That's another blessing. Say Alhamdulillah. But we take it for granted. You wake up in the morning like, man, like I can't hear properly with this one. What happened inside? Some wax. Remember that day when you couldn't sleep because of that wax? And there was like inflammation inside? And then it affects even your swallowing because it's a connected system. So you go to the doctor and say, well, like I have something wrong with my ears. What about me swallowing? Who's in control of all of this? Allah. Who makes it function properly every day? Allah. And when Allah stops it one time, He's breaking the law to ask you to come back to Him and say, I'm sorry, I must have done something wrong. Ya Allah, give me shifa. And I promise I'll pray 9 times a day in Saskatoon Dawah Center, inshallah. And once you become okay, you know what you do? Man, thanks to the doctor, he will give you the prescription. Not every prescription will work with everyone. The doctor did not cure you. The doctor is a means. The medication did not cure you. It's Allah who heals you. The medication is a means. Right? And this is the secret of Bismillah. You see, we're still stuck with Bismillah, right? I'm not going to move until you realize what it means and you mean it. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, anything you do in this life without Bismillah, Allah will not put barakah in it. فَهُوَ عَمَلٌ أَقْطَعٌ. No barakah. It will not continue. But you need to understand why do you say Bismillah and what do you mean by Bismillah. You start the car, what do you say? You eat, what do you say? You sleep, what do you say? What does it mean in the name of Allah? No, brother. No, sister. It means this car will never start except if Allah wills. right? Sometimes for a very, very awkward reason, the car is not starting. And you think like, everything is okay, what's wrong? I was traveling from Seattle, Washington, driving to Calgary. It was a brand new car, rental. So when you have a rental, it's like, oh man, nothing should go wrong. And I was in 2007, the car was 2008. MashaAllah. It was not even like minus 1 year, MashaAllah. It was born like, before it was supposed to. Right? Premature birth. Anyway, so I'm driving the car, it was amazing. And then, when you start dozing off while when you're driving long distance, and you keep being stubborn, I can go another mile. Another 10 miles, inshallah. You see 210, let's make it just 150, inshallah. Right? And then, man, I came to a point where I was literally sleeping while I'm driving. It's like, no, I have to stop. So I pull over, I stop. And then it just takes 15 minutes, 20 minutes when you feel once you open your eyes, it means your brain is okay now. You can just continue. You don't have to sleep for hours. Right? And I turn on the car, it's not starting. Come on, you're 2007. We're still in 2006. What's wrong with you? I forgot about what? That's it. And I'm like, you see now, I'm depending on what? Technology. This is a new car. It's full of gas. There is nothing that should stop it. New oil, new tires. Move. And nothing. Nothing. I did all the troubleshooting, trying to find what's wrong. Man, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. It's pitch black. I tried to use my cell phone to get some light, anything. And then I could do nothing. And then I'm like, what am I missing? I started doing istighfar. And then I tried to wait for somebody to stop. And in Canada, it's not like back home. Back home, people will see you, they're going to stop without you asking them. But here, everybody's going to look at you like, oh, he looks like a terrorist. No. 1 o'clock in the morning, oh man, this guy must have something in the car. Why is he pulling over in this place at this time, So every time I try to stop someone, they look at me and then they run away. Until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala assigned me, a good person, he stopped. Look what he did. He just opened the car. And he knows that car, okay? So he pushed a button and the car is connected to the agent, wherever you are. 24/7 service. It's like, hello, how can I help you? I'm like, where's this coming from? The sky? Man, the car is dead and somebody's talking to me? Yeah, tell me exactly what's the situation so I can guide you through this. Okay? Try to have some light. And the first question was, look at the gear. Where's the gear? Is it in parking? I said, no. She said, put it in parking. That was the problem. It wasn't neutral. It will never start. And I said, Bismillah. And then I started crying. I said, that's what you were missing. Yes, people will help you. Then, while I was crying, saying Bismillah, I realized, I said, you see, it's the time now to implement what you're teaching people. Because we're humans. We forget. It's Allah's teaching you. Bismillah is the key. Again, if you look at the car, nothing should, what's wrong? There should be nothing wrong. And all the mistake was when I got so tired, I just put it in neutral and then I just put my head right there. I didn't move. So when I woke up, I was like, no, start the car, it should start. So I put it in parking. And before she said, turn the key, I said, Bismillah. You see? So could the car be absolutely okay, even with the gear on parking, and it wouldn't move? It wouldn't move. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided, Allah breaks the law to send you a message, don't count on the car. Because the car is a means, and it's Allah who will take you from point A to point B, or it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who will cause this car to make an accident and you can meet Allah on the road. This is why when you make the dua before you leave the house, you say, Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Then an angel says, Kufit wa wuqit wa tanaha anka shaitan dhalika al-yawm. You have 3 protections. Kufit means like you have made the perfect dua. Okay? So Allah will protect you. That's number 2. And 3, shaitan will not come close to you that day. If you forget about that, then everything else could happen. You don't have insurance. You're not covered. See, as simple as that. But it all takes yaqeen, meaning you say what you say, meaning it, feeling it, trusting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the cliffhanger is, when those old couple went back home, they kept saying, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Something amazing happened at the other side, where their son, who's a prisoner of war, was behind the bars in a cell. What happened to him? That's what we will start with next time, inshallah, on Friday. Jazakumullah khair. Yes, question?